Good morning, everybody. How is everyone this morning? Today, we're going to take a nice, beautiful walk. I just want to start with this view right here. It is absolutely spectacular. Let's take a look. Koto-ku. And I want to give Tim a huge thank you for kicking off that super chance. Today, we're going to be kicking off the beginning of live streaming season as we enjoy this area. So, as people have already started to notice, we are out in Lake Suwa, and we're gonna go around and do some exploring. So what we'll do is we'll explore the town nearby here. We got the moon out there. And we're gonna start by heading down this way. We've also got some cherry blossoms out here as well. And early on in the morning, we have someone jogging down the road. We are out near Nagano in the Suwako area. And this is where we're going to be streaming today. I like to treat these as the start of our live streaming adventure. I've been getting a lot of comments lately asking, hey, when is the next live stream? Well, this is it right here. Got a bit of sakura left here, and up here, there's an old abandoned love hotel. Oh, my hands are shaking. It's a little colder this morning than I was anticipating. Got an old abandoned love hotel, and we've actually done a TOKYOLENS or TOKYOLENS Explorer walkthrough video of that up there. That is up on the channel if you want to take a look. But with the beautiful birds in the background, we're gonna take a bit of a walk, do a bit of exploring, and just enjoy this beautiful 5 o'clock in the morning here in Japan. And Dan in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, you know, the last time you were live from Lake Suwa, it was the first time I watched a live from you. And that love hotel seems really familiar. Yes, that would have been about the time that you joined the channel. Thank you so much. We'll get a close up here on the sakura, which out here, because it's still pretty cold, are not even fully open yet. And Sasha keeping that super chat ball rolling as well, saying thank you for the live stream. I missed it so much. Well, good morning, and thank you for being here for it. Going to Japan next week, and I'm so excited. That's something to be excited for. Congratulations. I hope you have an absolutely amazing trip. So anybody who wants to follow along, we are kicking off at Tateishi Park. And so if you go into Google Maps, you take a look at Tateishi Park. We're going to be starting there and going down into the town a little bit. And there is a restaurant here, Restaurant Padier. Lunch starting at 3,700 yen, those are the words, and dinner at 6,300. And Black Fox Studio keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying grab something warm from a vending machine, cheers. Thank you so much. And that Nuclear Otter, best name ever, by the way. Just curious if you will do any exploration into alleged haunted places when October comes. Also, good morning, lovely views. We've done a couple kind of haunted-esque spaces, both here and on the TOKYOLENS channel. If you're looking for haunted stuff, if one of the mods could pull up the haunted tunnels video and drop that in, that is by far one of my favorite haunted-esque videos that we've done. And we're gonna have this beautiful view of Lake Suwa from Your Name as we go today. And nope, we're not driving. We are walking, and what a view. What a beautiful space. I've actually been waiting for the right timing to come out and do this one, as the weather has been kind of all over the place. And Nosh abroad, long time no see. How are you doing today, Nosh? Saying, long time no see. Have a great morning and thanks for the stream. Thank you so much. Chelsea, how's it going? Amazing to watch while finishing up work. Glad to be able to catch a live stream again. Much love from Arizona. Thank you, Chelsea. So for those of you who are new, these super chats and in the comments later, super thanks and whatnot, these are what we use to fund the live stream adventures every single year. And we've got a little bit of a challenge today. So I'm going to be getting as close to the camera as I can and kind of giving you guys a little ASMR style whisper as we walk here. As we pass through this area here that has more houses, I don't want to be too noisy. So on my end, I'm going to be kind of whispering. But for all of you who join in, thank you so much. Also, while super chats are absolutely spantastic, that's our new word of the day, spantastic, I also want to say that anybody who wants to help support these adventures can also come and join on Patreon, as we're doing something special over there. And Dylan in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying thank you for the amazing content, keep it up. I wish to explore Japan one day. I hope you get that chance. So YouTube has gotten kind of aggressive with ads lately, and I think it's getting out of hand. And I tried to remove a ton of ads on a bunch of the videos because there was like a 20-minute video I released, and YouTube tried to put something like 9 ads on it. And when I released it, it just did that automatically. And so I went to remove them and cut it down to like, I think 3 ads or something. And YouTube was like, we will be announcing to your viewers that you have personally selected all of these ads. So it feels like this, like, oddly, like, we're gonna either put too many ads or trap you into having your viewers be like, oh, so he selected these. And I just love that view. And so what I've decided to do is from now on, I'm going to be keeping 3 to 4 months worth of content ad-free up on Patreon for anybody who has joined there. Plus the other 100 plus secret videos that are hidden on there that are kind of Patreon only, access to our Discord community and meetups and everything like that. And we've done quite a few over the last while as well, and everywhere from Australia and Amsterdam, Toronto, London, all over the place. So, and an amazingly kind super chat here, Art from the Heart. Wow, thank you so much for that. Art from the Heart coming in saying, good morning, Norm. So lovely to see a live stream. I've watched your videos and streams for a few years and they've helped me through a challenging time in my life. Wow. It's the least I can do to say thank you. Love you lots. I've got nothing but gratitude to you for that. You know, we've kind of all definitely been there at some point where you're going through a bit of a rough time and you find something that's just a bit of a peaceful distraction, if you will. And me, myself, as I'm not the world's most positive person, if anything, I'm very much in the opposite direction. It's one of the reasons I started YouTube, is to kind of push myself into looking at things in a more positive light and focusing on the positive things. I'm glad that I could bring a smile, a bit of distraction, and just make those difficult times just a little bit easier. Coming back from the bath. Hi gozaimasu. And so, thank you so much for that insanely kind super chat. But I'd also like to say, I've just genuinely always enjoyed having you here, Art from the Heart. You've always been a fantastic member of the community and a pleasure to interact with, so thank you. And John Manning, who's actually been out to the studio for coffee. How you doing, John? Thank you so much for keeping that super chat ball rolling as well, saying I really should get out to Suwako, but I don't think I could fit it in my next 2 trips. It's a worthwhile space. And today, there's a couple different ways that we can go about going through here. There's a long way and a short way. We might come the long way back. That's that way. But one of the ways that I love coming through here is there's all these tiny little pathways from the top of this park that lead through. And so those tiny little pathways are where we're gonna go. But last time, as we came down through here many years ago, we temporarily lost signal. So keep an eye on the signal. Let me know how things go. And yes, we're gonna talk about what is vanishing. But we will get into that in just a moment. That nuclear otter keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, series idea for you. Explore the areas that are seen in manga or anime, or manga or anime. Like laid back camp, exploring the campsites that are in it. So actually, I've already done that. Amazingly, I love that idea because I've already done it. If you go to the TOKYOLENS main channel, you'll see there are some camping videos on there. And one of the main camping videos that I did on there with the tiny camper van, I actually hit up several sites that are from Yuru Camp or laid back camp. And that was an adventure that I absolutely loved. But I want to share a little bit of a challenging story for this one. So one of the reasons that I was looking for, just look at that view. One of the reasons that I was aiming for the absolute best weather possible for this, aside from the fact that we want good weather for a live stream. And look at the mountains out here. I love that view so much. Can you guys hear the train in the background? Oh, I love that. I had come out here for a project. I had come out here to shoot a client-based project over a span of 2 days. And I get a ton of different things, whether it be like a sponsor or a government project and all that. And this particular project was confirmed, ready to come out. I've held the schedule for it for some time. We were just aiming for the best weather. We got the best weather. I came out. We were meant to be shooting today. And guess what? I get an email from the client last night saying, so sorry, we're gonna have to put this one on hold and do it another week. And this client is just kind of trying to bring some attention to their area, which I think is a fantastic thing, especially because right now some of the areas like Kyoto and whatnot are kind of over-traveled, if you will, and there are so many amazing spots outside of that. And so I don't want to double bill the client and be like, okay, well, here are all my travel expenses for the rental car and the highway, the hotel, and all the extras that come with it. And so I've decided, you know what, I will swallow this cost and just enjoy the area while I'm here. We already had the live stream planned anyway, so no big heartbreak or damage on my end, and we can always come back and redo that at some point. But it was partially the inspiration for the approach to this live stream and talking about how things are disappearing and things are changing. So I want to share a bit of that with you guys today. I'm just trying to figure out which of the pathways. You see, you get the main road and the tiny paths. And usually I take the tiny paths, but this time the tiny paths lead us right through the houses there, so we're gonna come this way. We got the perfect morning for this. And Lily in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying Lake Suwa, stairs, and Norm, just what we all needed. Thank you so much. Also, this is so much steeper than it looks. I'm also just loving the fact that we come out here and we still have some cherry blossoms going. So, but with my main project being canceled, we'll come down over this way. It gives me a little more time to focus on this for you guys. Kind of sucks because, to be honest, the client that hired me to come out to this area, I get the feeling that there's some kind of organizational stuff on their end that might make it so that the project doesn't happen at all, which will be sad because it would have given me access to a whole bunch of spaces that otherwise would have been challenging to gain access to. And so fingers crossed that we do get that, but in the end we might have just come down for a live stream. You know, right before I kicked off this channel, the TOKYOLENS Explore channel, we came out and did a very similar live walk through this area. And it was one of the kind of starting points before launching this channel. And so a lot of people joined TOKYOLENS Explore from that time. For those of you who are watching right now, I would love to hear, what was your starting point with the channel and the content? Like, when did you find it? When did you join? What was the first video that you remember? Please drop that in the chat. And if you are watching the replay, please drop that in the comments. So, there we go. And how are we holding up when it comes to signal and sound and everything like that? I am just trying very hard not to fall down these oddly steep steps which are leaned down. If I gave these a stair rating, I would give them a 4 out of 10. They're nice stairs. They cut through the area nicely. They definitely don't feel safe. I 100% want to grab us a coffee later on. Also, for those of you who are not fully caught up, if you take a look at the main channel, Okazaki-san, the young architecture student, is now an architect, and she has come out to do another space tour and review, this one being of my studio in Akihabara, and she had an absolute blast. Really did not hold back when it came to her thoughts and opinions on it. And that one as well, we have a full uncut version with like 10 plus minutes of additional footage that went up onto Patreon. So if you want to see a longer version of that one, this is your official invitation from me to come and join the Patreon crew and hang out. Would love to have ya. And definitely she's a cat. Released some shorts showing her cat-like tendencies. There we go. And so many people in here sharing the first video that they came across. Thank you guys so much for that. We got some beautiful cherry blossoms over here as well. I'm actually really happy when I hear people who are like, oh, my first video was the Nakasendo Trail. That was one of my favorite walks that I've done here in Japan. It's one that I had wanted to do for years. And what's more is a lot of people don't realize that that is actually video 1 of a 2-video series. You see, I did the Nakasendo Trail one day, and then I took a shot in the dark trying to get out to a Mononoke forest the next day. But that Mononoke forest requires really heavy rain followed by really bright sunshine in order to get the exact kind of sun cutting through the trees vibe that makes it so special. And we managed to actually get that. The single best condition we possibly could have hoped for. And so there is a Forest of Mononoke video as well as our Nakasendo Trail video, and they're shot one after the other. But I was so dead exhausted shooting that other video, and I really believe that it shows as well. So, all right. Let's see, I think we can come around the corner here. And it should bring us down. My biggest love by far is the K-Truck camper tour. Set up a tiny stove while streaming. It was collectively wholesome. I enjoyed that. This power station here hopefully won't mess with our signal too much. Yeah. The thrift stores are always fun. I don't think I will ever stop doing the thrift stores just because they're such a treat for me. And if I'm going to be visiting every thrift store in the country anyway, I might as well keep making videos of all the best ones as they come up, just because they're an absolute blast. And I didn't use the grill for the steak because I didn't want the, so the wood, I get a lot of that. So I went camping and I brought out a frying pan for the steak instead of using the wood grill. And really it just came down to my trust of the wood that I was using. Instead of getting like campfire wood, I will often just swing by a local woodworking shop and pick up their scraps that would be thrown out anyway. And I don't know what they're treated with and what kind of fumes are coming off them as they burn. And so rather than cooking directly over that, since I didn't have regular logs, I decided to pull out a frying pan. And me cooking my steak on a frying pan apparently broke the internet. And it was very, very interesting to see. And Monique in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, nice to finally catch you this early. Keep hydrated and take care. And thank you so much as always. And this here kind of kicks off our talk of, well, what is disappearing? What in the world am I talking about in my title of this video? Well, you see, Japan is about to undergo a great deal of change. First off, you do get these countryside areas that, the internet's been, oh, Japan's countryside is dying, everything is emptying out, all the young people are flocking to Tokyo and Osaka. And to a certain degree, while that is true, there's also this culture being born in Japan over the past 5 to 10 years of people in their 20s and 30s revitalizing these areas, grabbing old buildings, turning them into businesses, business becoming interconnected, and them all working together. I released a video of this, a documentary on TOKYOLENS quite recently. If one of the mods could jump into that documentary and share the link, I would be forever grateful to you guys. But I went out to Shikoku, which has no bullet trains coming through, so it does not get a ton of tourism and visitors like other parts of Japan. And there are a ton of old dying towns and dying arcades and shotengai out there. And yet there's this beautiful culture of young people starting up businesses and doing what they can to revitalize the area and stimulate growth. People trying to create events not just for adults, but for children as well, so that children will grow up with fond memories of their hometown and want to come back and want to build things out. People trying to make starting businesses in these local areas easier so that more people will come out and do it. And honestly, it is spectacular to see. In fact, I'm just trying to figure out where I am so we don't get too lost. But I think we want to head down this way, and either way it's just such a beautiful walk. So that's what we're gonna do. There should be a shrine out this way. And there's a comment in here thing. I think also the rise of digital remote working can help revitalizing the countryside. And yeah, Japan hasn't really adapted the remote work thing very well. In fact, they were one of the first to roll back on it pretty hard. But as Japan slowly, and when I say slowly, I really want to emphasize the slowly, moves out of the old ways, we get closer and closer to companies being able to do the remote thing and work from afar. In fact, over the last while, I've been trying to grow the team in TOKYOLENS and be able to give a little more face-to-face value to a few people around me. And we've brought on somebody, I don't really like titles, so somebody that I will call my right hand, who helps with shooting, helps with editing, helps with thumbnails, goes over my research and double fact checks and all of that. And we'll call this person Max. And Max has now been sharing like kind of behind the scenes of what it's like to work for the monster that is Norm over on Patreon for anybody who wants to come and see those. Those will be at least weekly posts. And we've got our shrine over here. Oh, we got another staircase. Okay, we might have to take that one to go back, but I want to check out this shrine a little bit. If you haven't given that like button already, I'm pretty sure the shrine is a fantastic opportunity to do that. So give that like button some love. But okay, show of hands in the comments, who remembers Yotam from the abandoned school? A few years back, I found an abandoned school in the mountains of Shikoku, and when I walked in, it smelled of coffee, freshly roasted coffee. And that is when I discovered Yotam, this gentleman who was living alone in an abandoned school, just living the dream. Him and I became fast friends, and I would go back and visit him at least once a year. More often than not, more than that. And about a year, 2 years now ago, I released a video of Yotam leaving the abandoned school, moving out. And in that video, he talked about how he is moving out to the beach area, not too far. He was commuting back and forth as he was running a cafe out there. And he, oh, look at this. I love it so much. Tiny little shrine. And Yotan has this special skill that I always watched from afar and loved, to connect with every single local business in the area, making friends, doing events, holding music events and all this other stuff at his abandoned school. And he actually became part of the inspiration for me to make the documentary on the youth who are revitalizing Japan. So there we go. This is such a beautiful space right here. Oh, I love this. I love the rope hanging through here as if it were wiring. Just beautiful. And it's giving me a weak connection warning. How's the connection doing so far? Look at that. Let's just take a moment just to enjoy this. And Rob keeping that super chat ball rolling with the super sticker. Thank you so much, Rob. those of you who have to go to the washroom and that was really hard on you, I apologize. And then we have the main shrine area right here. I'm glad it's holding up. There we go. This is a spectacular and gorgeous space. I just love the sound of the birds in the morning out here as well. We'll come down this way. Check out the rest of the shrine. And so, getting back to our story of before it all disappears. Oh, look at this. I recently covered this, I believe, in another live stream, but that live stream might have been only on Patreon, and I cannot remember. But Japan has actually made some adjustments to their laws for old and abandoned spaces, like the one we saw a few moments ago. And it's made it so that while originally abandoned buildings could just be left, so we'd have buildings from the 30s, 40s, 50s, just old abandoned spaces, like the hotel at the top of this, and these stairs just feel so dangerous. Oh, nice steps. We're good. We're safe. We're safe. I've definitely gone down in videos before, so we exercise caution as we go down these. But lately, there's been a new real estate law passed in Japan that these old buildings, which are very expensive to tear down, can no longer remain. And not only do they have to be torn down within a certain period of time, but due to the new fire code and laws, they can no longer be built at the same space or in the same size that they once were. And so, whereas we had all these buildings in Tokyo that would run right up to the road, they now need to be pushed back a significant amount and trimmed on the sides as well, which means a lot of places just let's go. Which way should we go? We will go down and around this way and try not to get squished by that yard. So these spaces not only now need to get torn down, but they end up have to be rebuilt considerably smaller, and a lot of the time it's not going to be worth it for them to put up a building anymore. So it'll sit as a vacant, empty lot, because maybe it could be little more than a parking lot, or maybe it's not even suitable for a parking lot, but it'll sit as a vacant, empty lot until the building next to it, or the two buildings next to it, eventually get torn down. And that could take 20, 30 years. And so what's happening is Japan as a whole is very quickly filling up with empty lots that once used to be home to beautiful old buildings, but it's just not safe to leave the building there anymore. And so these are turning into open lots that will sit there for an indeterminate amount of time. It could be months, it could be years, it could be decades. And so I've been on a personal mission to kind of go around and enjoy what I can in Tokyo and around Japan before the old and abandoned stuff under this new law all has to get torn down, destroyed, and especially in the countryside areas, more often than not, they won't even be able to rebuild it. Maybe they don't have the funding for it. And so we've got the shrine gate down here. We'll walk over this way. Alright. Coming right down here. And so this year, as we do our live streaming adventures, I wanted to capture as many of these places and share them with you guys as possible. For anybody just joining in now, we are out in Suwako, Lake Suwa, and we're exploring the area in all of its beauty as we go down and then probably back up the side of a mountain here. And so each year we do some form of live stream adventure here on TOKYOLENS Explore. So if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like. This is your official invitation from me. YouTube always shows those stats and it's like, hey, 70% of your viewers are not subscribed. And so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as we do this, we'll typically rent a car or a camper van and travel for a few days doing live streams and 4K walks basically every single day. And the last big one was when the TOKYOLENS channel hit 1 million, somewhere around this time last year. And ever since it hit, I was like, okay, I am gonna take the next year and kind of spend more time just living and enjoying and only focusing on putting out the videos that I really want to put out, rather than just putting something out every single week. And it has been fantastic. And now that we're getting back into the rhythm, I'm really looking forward to hitting the road. And most of these, the area that we go to and a lot of the spots, we plan them out on Patreon. So if you guys want to get involved and drop ideas, we've also got an entire ideas section of our Discord in there. And Kate in a pie in here, keeping that super chat ball rolling. Kate, thank you so much for that. Also, the scale of this. The scale of this is just spectacular. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful gate. And this brings us right down into Suwa. We'll take a little peek at the town. Gentlemen out for a nice morning walk here. Ohayou gozaimasu. This is the town here. Have you ever gone to a baseball game in Japan? No, I haven't. But there's a video that I want to make that would be related in some ways to baseball. Are there a lot of baseball fans in the comments? Let me know. So this building right here is actually kind of a perfect example of what we were talking about. This building right here is an older building. It actually seems like it's still in use, likely not abandoned. But if you notice, the spaces beside it are emptied out. And the ones that can be turned into parking lots are. But chances are buildings have been removed from there. And when this one is removed, it will no longer be able to occupy the same amount of space. It will need to be pushed back several feet on each side to enable it to be compliant with Japan's new fire codes and everything. So buildings like these ones here that are pressed right up against the front of the sidewalk and then pressed side to side with each other like this, if one of these buildings has to go, then chances are we're in the countryside, so the buildings are considerably, they've got more space. They're considerably larger. But a building like this one here would need to be pushed back significantly from the road, and then it would no longer be able to be connected to the other building. as closely, just like this. So right now, we've got about a foot of space between these buildings at max, and that would have to increase significantly to 2 to 3 feet. But this is the town of Suwa here. And it's quite nice. Again, a very peaceful and quiet morning. Quite a few baseball fans in here. So, a little known fact, I actually grew up playing baseball, softball, and t-ball. I was in a league in my city, and a great deal of Norm's childhood was just that, baseball. So we've got a set of streets over here. This one's a little bit wide for our purposes, so excuse the quick turn. So you're gonna come down this way and see what this narrow little alleyway has to offer us. There we go. And if you're new to the channel and the content, I see some questions in here saying, hey, where are you from? I am originally from Canada. I was born in Toronto and raised in and outside of Toronto nearby. Where are the homeless people? Not here. Japan's homeless tend to tuck themselves, there we go, here's a perfect example. Tuck themselves into more hidden spots. But so, for example, right now, there was obviously a building here at one point. Looking at the growth, it's probably been gone for a while. But they'll no longer, you can see that it was built right up to the side of the wall of this building. And this is built right up to the edge of the road. And it will need to be pushed back, likely to around that line there. And leave about, for this property, probably about a foot in on each side, which means when the other buildings get rebuilt, they also need to leave a foot on each side, which means the building that would need to be built here is going to be overly skinny. So in order to build anything here, they're going to be waiting for one or more of these buildings to eventually go out of use and be torn down. Now, that one there looks like it may be abandoned, but it'll take some time for them to actually tear them down and then rebuild something in that space. Oh, I love these tiny little narrow roads. I'm right outside of Toronto as well. Nice. I think the last meetup or hangout that I did in Canada was maybe pre-pandemic. I don't know, maybe I did one after. But I ended up making some friends at my very first ever, years ago I did an impromptu Toronto meetup. I think I announced it like a day or two before or something. And wildly, I was like, oh, 10, 15 people show up. It's one very specific location. And so I didn't book a space or anything. And wildly, some like 30 or 40 people showed up. And it was cold out and we didn't have a space. And so we just kind of like wandered Toronto like this group of idiots. And it was a great learning experience. So when I did things like London and Amsterdam and all that in the past year, I made sure to book a proper space for us to hang out. When I went back to Toronto again, I booked a proper space for us all to hang out. But people who came to that first ever international meetup have since stayed in touch. And what I've ended up with is this group of lifelong friends. One of my buddies from that meetup is now going to be moving to Japan, and his life is so so much different than it was when we met. I was like, Mom, the smile on that guy as I said good morning just brightened my day so much. I don't know if it showed, if you guys could see what a great smile he had, but that was uplifting. I loved it. So this year there's been, last year, as I said, we hit 1 million last year, and last year was filled with international travel. In fact, believe it or not, I still have videos that I'm going to be dropping on this channel from Amsterdam and London. I've got some... Wow. Oh, I was like, why are there so many people? And I forgot that it's now proper morning time. It is 6:05 in the morning here in Japan. You know, it's a small town, as he's been walking a while and have not seen a kombini yet. Yep, there's not a ton nearby. I want to get off the main road. It's morning traffic time, and I kind of want to get back into like the mountainous area through the shrine there. So Annette Anderson saying, hey Norm, coffee money for later. Thank you so much, Annette. I hope that we get less trucks. I hope that you are doing well. Always fantastic to have you in here. One of the things that I always enjoy about doing these Tokyo Lens Explorer walks is I get to kind of know you guys in the comments section and in the chat. Like, if I don't catch your chat, because I do kind of want to take in the area around me as I'm walking, so I don't catch every single chat that comes through. I try. But definitely leave me something in the comments at the end. That way I can go through at my own pace and check out all of those. Just moved to Germany from the US, still job hunting. So glad we've not missed it. Wow, congrats on the move. Exciting stuff. I think we can climb back up the mountain. What do you guys think? I feel like it's definitely doable. We'll do a little early morning jaywalking here as we go across the street. I say it every time, but if you're ever gonna report me, this is it. Breaking the law on camera. You know, there was a while where Japanese police were heavily utilizing social media as like proof of crimes, and they still do it, but I think they were on like a hyper campaign for a while. And there was a photographer who always got these incredible shots. I love rooftops, so one of my favorite comments over the past year so is like, guess who said this comment? This is my favorite rooftop. And they were like, is it Spider-Man, Batman, or Norman? And I was like, oh my god, this is just, this is the best comment I've ever gotten. But if you've been with the channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I love rooftop hopping in Tokyo. I love just getting up top and seeing the city from above. We've done rooftop camping videos on the main channel, Tokyo Lens, and the number of night walks that we've done that have had rooftops included in them is just, well, it's uncountable at this point. But this particular gentleman, I won't mention his name, would go kind of above and beyond that. He's one of those crazy ones who would go up on like the edges of rooftops and stuff like that. And he also climbed up onto Rainbow Bridge, which I thought was just wild. I would not do it. You couldn't pay me to do that. Look at that staircase. Look at this staircase. It looks so much better from this angle. Okay, back up we go. Gotta explore it. Gotta do it this way. And so he posted photos from the top of Rainbow Bridge, which used to be a lot easier to get up than it is now. I've never done it just because I don't want to fall off of Rainbow Bridge into Tokyo Bay and never be seen again. But he, pretty sure he got in pretty big trouble, and they were able to use the post of him on top of Rainbow Bridge as like proof of his crime. And they actually made changes to Rainbow Bridge so that you can't get up on it as easily. Yeah, I probably could rocky run this, but we're gonna take it nice and slow because we're about to climb a whole mountain here. So, also, if you haven't already, do me a favor, give that like button some love. And we'll enjoy this nice, right? I wonder how many stairs we're gonna do in total. Probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 stairs. I remember the shamisen videos. I actually just put up 2 new shamisen music videos on the Shamisen in Tokyo channel that I run with the shamisen girls Kiki. And we're gonna be going out to North Carolina in a few weeks and holding a shamisen workshop there, as well as I go to Animazement. So if you are in or near North Carolina, definitely come out. I'll be doing a panel and I'll be helping out with the shamisen workshop as well. So, and these here always amaze me, just because, you know, they made some modifications to each one of the stones to have them fit in here. But there are areas like this of Tokyo that have existed and been built with stones hundreds of years ago and still just remain. And they just never tore it down. And I always love finding those spots and enjoying them as I walk through the city. Corey Smith saying that is my neck of the woods. Should definitely come out. Animazement is an incredible event. It's held in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it's one of my favorite events to do each year. They invite me out. I'll often bring shamisen players. We'll do a workshop, and you can kind of get your own, like, we do 2 workshops. One with like a cardboard shamisen where you build it and then you learn how to play sakura. And then we do an advanced workshop where you can get like a more serious shamisen if you don't have one already. And that we learn, well, this year we're doing anime songs. So, proudly displaying my shamisen from Animazement 2024 on my office desk. That is spectacular. And he's just initial D'ing it down this mountain. Woo! Coming down with some speed. Tracking you on Google Earth right now. It's beautiful. Glad you're doing that. Okay, so I want to take this set of stairs because I think it should take us back up. And Bunty B keeping that super chat ball rolling. Thank you so much for that. How are you doing? Okay. We'll see if these stairs lead us to a dead end or if we can actually get up this way. We'll give it a shot. And Bunty B, I am doing very good. Thank you so much for keeping that super chat ball rolling. For those of you who don't know, this is kind of the start of our live streaming adventures for this year, and the super chats that we accumulate go into funding the live stream adventures. Going into things like, oh, I don't know which way. There's two ways. There's this way up here, and there's this way. I'm gonna go this way. Might lead us to a dead end, but it's worth checking. Goes into things like renting the camper van and highway fees, because Japan's highway fees are so much fun. Love exploring the country, and more often than not, it's much more economical for me to do that through a camper van than it is taking the train everywhere, since I can't really get like a JR pass. But the highway fees really put a damper on things. So, more stairs. And when we come around this corner, does it take us up? So far, so good. All right, we'll keep going. We'll see how far we can get with these stairs here. And yeah, one of the reasons I love coming into the area of Suwako is just because you get all these nice little hidden stairway areas that take you through the mountains of the town here and take your breath away, figuratively and literally. Oh, there we go. If you haven't already, give that like button some love as we explore. And luckily did not hit a dead end and get stuck. Yay. That's a win. And I won't be playing shamisen at an amazement. I usually do a bit of a different panel. Last year I did a panel based on a series we're working on Patreon of how to find hidden and unknown spots in Japan. And Sasha, we need a stair review. It's a tradition. That last set of stairs is a solid 7. 6.5, I guess. They weren't as aesthetically pleasing, but they were still good stairs. They're even, easy to walk up. Not bad at all. I enjoyed them. Thank you. And so we last year's panel at an amazement was all about how to escape the usual tourist spots. We've almost got the sun coming up here. Escape the usual tourist spots and find hidden and unknown places. Because I currently have a list that has just topped 5,000 places. It's taken me about 6 years to compile, and it grows every single week. But it officially topped 5,000 places that are gorgeous spots that are just off the tourist trail. They're nowhere near Tokyo or Osaka, Kyoto, Fukuoka, any of that. And so, and they're really not that hard to find, but people kind of struggle with how to do that. So last year's Animazement panel was all about that. There we go. And would you ever come to Anime North in Toronto? I've done it before, but Anime North often coincides date-wise with Animazement in North Carolina. So I'm always gonna default to heading to Animazement because they're incredible people. We've got what we call the Animazement family, and I always get to meet and bond with amazing guests. I love that. I one year got to sit down and have breakfast with Sailor Moon, or had drinks at night with Speed Racer, with the Ninetales Fox, with Foresia. So an opportunity like that is something I won't easily pass up. We have two sets of stairs here. I think we came down this one originally, so we'll explore by going up this one. There we go. This one's quite a bit steeper. I think there's like a secret park up here somewhere. Yeah. These stairs get like a 4 to 5 out of 10 just because they're, well, not even, and a little harder to go up. Oh, Stanley. Stanley saying, please turn left. Sorry, Stanley. I went right. And Bun TV, along with Stanley, keeping that super chat ball rolling. Thank you so much for that. Oh, how are we doing view-wise? Gotta look back every now and then. Just taking that view. Catch our breath. All right. Continuing on up. So, usually I hold this for Patreon, but I wanted to ask, what would you guys like to see in an upcoming live stream? If you have any specific area or place that you'd like to see, obviously it would need to be a place that has signal, because, well, live streams, they require that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you going to Star Wars Celebration? That's the plan. That's the goal. That's the hope. I think we came from this way. And I don't even know what Fan Expo is. Hopefully this doesn't just lead to people's houses. Oh. These stairs are tall, taller than they look. Loving the peaceful, adventurous morning walk. Once again, a peek at Suwako over there. We're getting more and more up the mountain. And question here, is solar cheap in Japan? Oh, we got the sun. I see lots of solar panels. Is it cheap in Japan? I don't know how cheap it is. Oh, it's a lot of stairs. We got right and left here. I'm gonna leave this one up to chat. Do we go right or do we go left? Finally got the sun peeking over the mountains there. It's warming up too. It was, first vote is for right. It was cold this morning. We got one right, one left. It all depends on the next 12. Getting a lot of left. All right, everyone's just leaning into left. Left it is. Well, left definitely gives us a view of the Your Name lake here, Suwako. And as we go up, we get the blossoms here. Look at that view, eh? go. I'm actually wearing 2 jackets because when I started this stream, it was just around 0 degrees Celsius, the freezing point of water. And now it has significantly warmed up, or at least I have. My hands are warmer. My hands were dying at the beginning of the stream, but it's become much more manageable now that the sun is out. There we go. You sounded Canadian just then. Well, it's one of the features of being a Canadian is that every now and then we will sound Canadian. It's like the features of being an English speaker. Every now and then, English will come out. Okay, please don't hit me. The sun is up over the mountains now. Clean waste. Oxymoron. Got kind of semi-lucky. Oh my goodness. Okay. This exact ladybug sandbox has made an appearance. Not this exact one, but this model has made an appearance in a main channel TOKYOLENS video before. 100 points to whoever can guess or remember that video. Actually, if anybody remembers, I will be shocked and amazed. Oh, look at this walk. Does anybody remember? I'll give you a hint. It's a documentary. Yeah, and that ladybug, it has seen some stuff. It's been through some shiz. And Alan Gates in there. Yes, actually Alan Gates, and I can't read that because it's really long. So it was the abandoned village sandbox documentary. Yes, it is amazing that I can point out something as random. Oh, look at this, as a sandbox. Look at that. Just love that town being built up the side of the mountain. And yes, I did a documentary many years ago along the lines of why was this Japanese village abandoned. It's got an old beat up house in the thumbnail and it says population 1. And in shooting a joke video, I stumbled on an abandoned village and caught rumor that there was one remaining resident at the top of the mountain, and spent a few days living in that area trying to find that gentleman by approaching locals and people who used to live in the now abandoned village. Came across some amazing people, heard some unbelievably incredible stories, and in the end, well, I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but it was a worthwhile trip. Now, that is different from the hermit documentary of the hermit living out in the mountains. And oh, these are the stairs I didn't like. You can see why, right? They're so uneven. So uneven. And that particular documentary didn't feature any bears, but the very first time I was there, unbeknownst to me, I kind of got chased off by a bear. I thought it was a monkey screaming at me, and then long after that found out that the sound that I heard in the video was not a monkey, but was a baby bear calling for its mother. And the fact that I decided to leave because the sound kept getting closer and closer. It's a nice songbird there. Was definitely a good idea. So wow, good memory with the bee farmer, and geez, really great stuff. Yeah. Bird wanted to talk too, just hanging out, having a good time. There we go. These are danger stairs. You get a 5 out of 10, just because aesthetically and stair-wise, not great, but adventure-wise, fantastic. So, you know, they balance. Whee! There we are. This is quite a bit of distance we made so far up this mountain. Let's see if we can get ourselves a nice viewpoint looking back down. Did we come through this path? We definitely did. Oh, this kind of leads us to a forest off to the side there. These little sakura just sticking out. Love these. Already did a video on Yodobashi many years ago. Animate, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, just because some anime studios are so borderline vindictive that just featuring a box with one of their characters on it, they'll flag your video. I once made a video of some karage, like chicken nuggets from, I think, Lawson or something, that had this anime called Space Brothers or Space Boys or something on it. And just because I showed the box and talked about it, they flagged my video, which was kind of crappy. All right. Woo-wee. I think we got one or maybe two more sets of stairs. This should take us up here. Let's just give it a shot. Ooh, these ones are steep. Oh boy. There we go. So right now, for anybody just joining, we're out near Nagano in Suwa, and we're walking a mountain near Suwako with some of the most dangerous looking stairs ever. And just, this one comes to a dead end, doesn't it? I feel a dead end coming, guys. Oh, dang it. I do see the road we want to get to is right up there. But I was hoping that this would take us there. It doesn't seem to want to. Okay, we'll go back down and around. These stairs sucked anyway. Here we go. Try not to die as we go down the stairs. Now there is a live stream that I really want to do with you guys. So before the channel hit 1 million subs, I decided to do a Chase Me Through Tokyo live stream where I announced the general area I would be and did like a 2-hour live stream, and any viewer who could catch up with me would get a piece of merch. And now that Sherry has been living in Tokyo for a year, I want to do a similar live stream, but where I race her through a section of Tokyo. The two of us taking different routes, each of us live streaming our end of the race. And anybody who wants to catch up with us is free to do so. If you catch us, you get a prize. And we have 60 seconds to chat, get photos, give you a prize, say hello, and then we have to be on our way. That way, we're not too delayed. Each of us will have a stopwatch with us, so the second you catch us, we start the stopwatch. We've got 60 seconds, you get your prize, and we are on our way. But I hope this is the right way. I think it is. We'll figure it out. Oh boy. Still just a nice walk. And we will announce this one far in advance so that anybody who wants to come out and chase us through Tokyo, anybody who's physically there can do that. It was a really fun live stream when I did it on TOKYOLENS. That one was done actually on the main channel and gave away a ton of merch, met a ton of great people, and a little secret behind the scenes that I don't know if I ever shared is afterwards, I ended up running into a bunch of the guys who caught up with me, and just so happened I was about to do a thing in the studio and invited them out. So, and Keith in there, keeping that super chat ball rolling. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You were so close to the top. Those were the last steps. Yeah, I'm also enjoying the forest walk though. We're okay. Thank you so much, Stanley, for keeping that super chat ball rolling. And this time I want to make a kind of limited edition item for this live stream where you chase Sherry and I through the city. And so I'll probably only make like 50 of the item I want to give away, and there'll be like a Norm version and a Sherry version. So did I go all the way up to, no, I might have gone too far. I might have gotten all the way up to the abandoned love hotel. Did I? Oh, I 100% did. Oh boy. All right. That's a cool space anyway, so we'll head there. We've got an entire video on it, so we'll go check out the abandoned love hotel just a little bit. So there'll be a Norm version and a Sherry version, and if you want both, you have to track us both down and catch us both. And Pipe 0481 saying that seems like a nice place to live. I think it would be. The lake gets kind of cold and windy sometimes, but otherwise this is a lovely, lovely area. There we go. Oh. And it gives us a nice high up view of Suwako up here as well. Hope you're taking a drink of water or something as soon as I'm done. As soon as I am done, I'm finding the first available vending machine and grabbing myself a water. Because we've been going now for, wow, an hour and a half. Is that a woodpecker I'm hearing? Sounds like it's a woodpecker. Yeah. We were down there. I overshot. I significantly overshot. There we go. This is the Abandoned Love Hotel. And last time we were here, we went all through this. In fact, either here or on the main channel, there is an entire video just of this Abandoned Love Hotel. We got up onto the roof and everything. In fact, I'm pretty sure on Patreon, we even did a version where I flew a FPV drone through it for a while. But, oh, there we go. But it's been roped off now. So, we won't be going in this time. Has anybody got the link to that video? I really like that one. But yeah, typically if it's roped off, if it's roped, says do not enter, or says if there's like a lock, those are things I just won't mess with. I will stay out. But if anybody's got the link to that video, probably it would need to be one of the mods would need to drop the link in the chat. But this space here with the woodpecker is where the sign, no more YouTubers, go away. Yep, that's exactly what the sign said. It also said, please, more norm sass, because the people watching the YouTube videos are saying no more YouTubers. It's been a while since we've had some norm sass, hasn't it? I absolutely love the view out here. The original streams, yeah, if we've got a link to one of those original streams. I think I shot like a 4K walking video through, or was it a stream? I can't remember. I really can't. There we go. That down there is the park at which we once started. I feel like there's got to be like a secret back path here that goes through that. I think there was. I think there is a path from here. And Kirsten, thank you so much for that. You know what, guys? I think I want to explore and try and find that path. It's been so long since I've been out here. And Scott McMaster asked earlier on, how much scouting or, you know, pre-hunting do I do for these live streams in advance, and how much of it is just impromptu? This particular one was kind of one of the streams that launched the TOKYOLENS Explore channel. So this area I kind of know. It's been a few years since we've been out here, but this area I know. However, most of the streams that I do on this channel will either get a kind of cursory peek at best or nothing. Oh boy, that was so much steeper than I originally thought. And Keitaro Taru says, very late to the live stream, but I want to show my appreciation for all the content that you create. Thank you so much for that very kind super chat. As I mentioned earlier, all of those are going into funding our upcoming live stream adventures for this year, so it helps very much. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm happy to have you here. It's always a good time. And right now, for anybody who is joining late, we are out at Lake Suwa, one of the places that was kind of served as inspiration for the movie Your Name. And I feel like this was probably the wrong turn, but it's gotten us closer to where we want to be, so I'll count it as a step in the right direction. We can go down through this way. Looks like it's working. Oh, there we go. I also love just scaffolding in Japan. Scaffolding is, oh my goodness, that actually hurt. I like brushed up against one of these. And when I say brush, I mean very aggressively ripped past it and did not notice the spikies. And Scott McMaster back in here saying, cool, used to love wandering into new areas while I lived in Japan, but stayed mostly urban. Yeah, one of the ways that this channel had originally started is I'll go out to areas to shoot videos and whatnot, and would end up doing walks like this for like an hour or two in the morning or at night or something like that. And during the pandemic, I was like, you know what? Let's share these walks. It's kind of, there we go. And pop down here and up here. Okay, we got ourselves a sundial here. And a view of Suwako. Look at that. So do me a favor. We asked early on in the video, what was your first piece of TOKYOLENS content that you ever saw? And when this video wraps, I'd love for you to leave that in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments as well. This has been spectacular. Guys, let's do this again soon. Keep your eyes open for the dual live stream between Sherry and I. I'll make sure to announce that far in advance so that you can chase us through Tokyo, whether it be through your screen or in person. Thank you all so much for hanging out today, and I'll see you again real soon. Nah, just kidding. All right, we're gonna step out of here. We'll head down this way. It wouldn't be a TOKYOLENS Explore video without the false ending. Gotta do it that way. There we go. And we'll come, oh no. I entered from the back, so Norm didn't see the construction barrier. Sorry guys. All right, so there we go. Now I'm officially going to jail. That's it. Oh Lord, there's so many barriers. Oh, I have circumvented so much barrierishness. I am so sorry. I don't even want to look back. I feel terrible about it. Hopefully it wasn't for safety stuff. I just kind of came from the wrong end. Oh, that sounded bad. There used to be a slide that went through here. One of those roller slides, and it was just spectacular. And now it's gone. They tore it out. Still a pretty cool park down there, but there was this like giant, should we do that? Should we just do like a big old roller slide sometime? Oh, I think that would be so much fun. See, that would have been like a pretty good place to just randomly end the video, but I'm gonna go down these stairs this way, get out of the illegals. Oh my Lord, there's so many barriers. Guys, okay. So this is why we do things in the proper order, so that we don't accidentally break into areas. Just dang it. Oh, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous view right there. Absolutely love it. Map hacks. Yeah, that's right. Just map hacks. We're breaking through. I really, guys, do me a favor. Leave me something in the comments, because, as always, I really want to stress here at the end that it's really important to